A proverb a day makes the folly go away. Proverbs 1, verse 8 to 9. Hear, my son, your father's instructions, and forsake not your mother's teaching, for they are a graceful garland for your head and pendants for your neck. Now, this one is actually quite interesting. I didn't really consider what it meant when it said that there will be a garland around your head and a pendant around your neck. I always know that when it comes to receiving information from your parents, that they can be valuable. And it's interesting because, like I mentioned before, my relationship with my dad wasn't the best growing up, and there was very little that I could think of that is just like, yeah, my dad taught me to do this or he taught me to do that. It was more so to me, majority of the cases, not all of them, majority of the cases, it was more so, yeah, I learned to not do this because of my dad or not do that because of my dad. But there were definitely some things that I held on to, and especially with my mom. And it literally goes to show again, this is a proverb that's going to be later on, that when it comes to disciplining and not sparing the rod from your kids, which is a little different than what's being taught here, they take that with them when they get older. And not in a sense of they're just going to learn to discipline the kids the same exact way. But if they're wise enough and they're given the wisdom to learn how to better understand the proper ways of disciplining children, then they'll be able to kind of what's the best term? Utilize the methods that were done. I can definitely say that there was a lot of disciplinary actions. That's just, I mean, Caribbean lifestyle to begin with, especially for a lot of my relatives that they had. A lot of it was based off of anger when it comes to disciplining. Now, I definitely despise the idea of disciplining with anger. You should never do that. But there does have to be a level of disciplining when it comes to your kids, and it will straighten them up for the most part. And it's not even just with like belts, but like, keeping them from doing certain things, just making sure that they're straight and like they got their head on their shoulders and that they're not just doing anything. If there was anything that I definitely learned is that I had to be vigilant in the way that I think, in the way that I react, in the way that I do things. And I think that's kind of the weirdness, or at least in my sense, where it's like that's the garland around my head and the pendant on my neck. A lot of people give me they give me praise. I don't want to say praise, but they they say good things about me and the way that I act and the way that I present myself and the way that I handle things and whatnot. And honestly, although, like I said previously, a lot of my parents' teachings and methods of teachings weren't really the most advisable, if that's even a word, but it still allowed me to be who I am today. And it still allowed me to push me in a direction to follow God the way that I do today. And granted, a lot of the stuff that, and, and these are just things that, I've kept with me over the years. Um, I despised my parents' teachings for a very long time. But as I got older and I started to realize why it is I do the things that I do, I've come to have a better understanding of why they did it. So I give them grace on that. And I've been able to kind of utilize that to my advantage, to where it's less so what was done to me and me reacting off of that, but then able to really navigate how can I use that and take the good from it and use it for the next generation type thing. When it comes to problem solving, my father was very adamant and passionate about making sure that I understood how to make good decisions and not just do things out of nowhere. He did so really aggressively, but at the end of the day, it helped me become who I am today. So if you take in the teachings of your father and don't, and or the instructions of your father, and do not forsake the teachings of your mother, then essentially they help shape who people are going to see you as. But again, it's going to look different for everybody, because for me, it's a lot of navigating. It's not just like everything that your parents say is going to be good if you have those type of parents, and then it's just going to show on you. It happens for some people, but for other people, it becomes a matter of you have to find where's the good at. You have to navigate through the good of everything that's been taught, and then put that on you. And everything that's bad, those are going to be traumas. You really have to be able to navigate through those and rely on God to be able to navigate through those, whether it's going to be through people, through therapy, or just God being able to show you and being able to instill in you that grace that we must have with everybody, so we get rid of those but still keep it on the good and wear them on our body. That's kind of my 2 cents on that verse. But of course, as always, don't take my word for it. Read the word yourself. I'm going to catch you on the next one. Take it easy.